Picture this. It's Sunday afternoon. You're sitting in your living room, phone in hand, scrolling through photos of your grandchildren on social media. You think about calling, but you hesitate. Will they be too busy? Will it be a bother? When did you become so afraid to reach out to your own family? Here's a truth that nobody wants to say out loud, but everyone over 60 knows deep in their heart. The dream we were sold about our golden years, surrounded by loving family, grandchildren at our feet, children calling daily, that dream doesn't match reality for most of us. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, it might be the best thing that ever happened to you. I'm about to share something that will completely transform how you think about your senior years. Something that will liberate you from disappointment, loneliness, and that gnawing feeling that you're not enough. Because here's what I've discovered after working with thousands of seniors and conducting extensive research into what actually makes older adults thrive. The happiest, healthiest, and most peaceful seniors aren't the ones waiting by the phone for family to call. They're the ones who've discovered 5 essential pillars that give them independence, joy, and fulfillment that no family member could ever provide. Not because family doesn't love them, but because these 5 things offer something even deeper. Today, I'm going to reveal these 5 game-changing elements that successful seniors rely on. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll feel lighter, more empowered, and ready to create the life you actually deserve, not the one you were told you should want. So let's dive in, because your best years are still ahead of you. Before we get into the first pillar that transforms senior life is building genuine community connections outside of family. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm too old to make new friends, or everyone I knew has either moved away or passed on. I hear this all the time, and I'm here to tell you that this belief is not only wrong, it's dangerous. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret is 73 years old, and 2 years ago, she was exactly where you might be right now. Her husband had passed away 5 years earlier, her 2 children lived in different states, her grandchildren were polite but distant. She spent most of her days watching television, waiting for the occasional phone call, feeling invisible in a world that seemed to have moved on without her. Then, something happened. Her neighbor invited her to a weekly knitting circle at the local community center. Margaret almost said no. She felt awkward, nervous, convinced she wouldn't fit in. But she went. And that single decision changed everything. At that knitting circle, Margaret met 5 other women in similar situations. They started as knitting buddies, but became so much more. They began having coffee together, going to movies, taking day trips. When Margaret had a health scare last year, these women showed up in ways her busy children simply couldn't. They drove her to appointments, brought her meals, sat with her during recovery. Here's what's crucial to understand. Margaret's children still love her, but they have jobs they can't leave, children they're raising, lives they're managing. Margaret's knitting circle friends, they have the same schedule she does. They understand what it's like to be in this stage of life. They get it in ways that even the most loving child cannot. Community connections come in countless forms. Senior centers, religious organizations, volunteer groups, hobby clubs, exercise classes, book clubs, gardening societies. The options are limitless. And here's the beautiful part. Every single one of these connections reduces your dependence on family, while paradoxically making your family relationships better. Why? Because you have things to talk about. You have stories to share. You're not just the lonely parent waiting for a call. You're an engaged, active person living a full life. That's attractive to everyone, including your family. Research from the Harvard Study of Adult Development, one of the longest-running studies on happiness, found that social connections are the #1 predictor of happiness and longevity. Not family connections specifically, but social connections broadly. People with strong community ties live longer, have better cognitive function, and report significantly higher life satisfaction. But building community connections requires something from you: initiative. You have to show up. You have to be willing to feel awkward at first. You have to risk rejection. And yes, you might try a few groups before you find your people. I want you to think about your interests. What did you love doing when you were younger? What have you always wanted to try? Is there a cause you care about? Could you volunteer? Could you take a class? Here's a powerful exercise. Make a list right now of 3 community activities or groups you could join in the next month. Not someday, not when I feel like it, in the next 30 days. Write them down, research them, and commit to showing up to at least one. The seniors I know who are thriving, I mean genuinely happy with a spark in their eyes, they all have one thing in common. They've built a tribe. They have their people. And those people aren't family. They're chosen family, which in many ways is even more powerful because it's based on shared interests and mutual choice, not obligation. I want to address one more critical point about community. Digital community counts too. Online forums, social media groups, virtual classes. These aren't lesser than in-person connections, especially for seniors with mobility issues or those living in rural areas. Digital communities can be lifelines. But here's the key: these connections must be real. They must involve regular interaction, genuine interest in others, and reciprocal support. You can't just scroll passively. You have to engage, contribute, and show up consistently. Community connection is your first pillar. Master this, and everything else becomes easier. Because when you have people who genuinely see you, value you, and want to spend time with you, people who choose to be in your life, you stop placing impossible expectations on your family. The third essential pillar is maintaining your physical wellness and independence through consistent health practices. Physical health is not just about living longer. It's about maintaining the independence that keeps you from becoming a burden and preserving the dignity that allows you to feel good about yourself. Nothing will make you more dependent on family faster than declining health from neglect. And nothing will give you more freedom than a body that still works, that allows you to do what you want when you want. Let me tell you about Joyce. Joyce is 68, and for years she'd let her health slide. She was overweight, sedentary, dealing with high blood pressure and pre-diabetes. She felt tired all the time. Simple tasks became difficult. She needed help with things that embarrassed her to ask for. Her daughter began calling constantly, worried, nagging about doctor appointments and medication. Every conversation felt like a lecture. Joyce felt like she'd lost control of her own life, like she'd become her daughter's child rather than her parent. Then Joyce's doctor gave her a wake-up call that finally landed. You're one fall away from losing your independence entirely. You choose right now whether you want to spend your 70s mobile and active or in assisted care. That stark choice motivated Joyce like nothing else had. She joined a senior fitness program at her local YMCA. She started walking daily. She cleaned up her diet. It wasn't easy, and progress was slow, but she stuck with it. 18 months later, Joyce had lost 45 pounds, was off one of her blood pressure medications, and had more energy than she'd had in a decade. But the most important change? Her relationship with her daughter transformed. There was no more nagging, no more worry-filled calls. Instead, her daughter was proud, impressed, inspired. They actually enjoyed talking again. Physical wellness isn't vanity. It's not about looking good in a swimsuit. It's about making as you feel fine is false economy that often leads to crisis. Medication management. If you take medications, take them properly. Use systems that help you remember. Understand what each one does. This isn't your doctor's job or your children's job, your job. Now, I know some of you are thinking, it's too late for me, the damage is done. That's a lie. Numerous studies show that even people who start exercising and improving their health in their 70s and 80s see significant benefits. Your body wants to heal. Your body responds to good treatment at any age. But here's what's critical. You have to do this for you, not for your family. If you're only trying to get healthy because your kids are nagging you, you'll fail. This has to be about your freedom, your dignity, your ability to live life on your terms. When you're physically well and independent, your peace increases exponentially. You're not worried about becoming a burden.
Pillar number 4, continuous learning and mental stimulation. The fourth pillar is continuous learning and keeping your mind actively engaged. Here's something fascinating. The human brain is capable of forming new neural connections throughout life. This process, called neuroplasticity, means that your brain at 70 can still learn, grow, and adapt. But, and this is crucial, only if you challenge it to do so. Think of your brain like a muscle. Use it or lose it is not just a catchy phrase, it's biological reality. Seniors who stop learning, who stop challenging themselves mentally, experience cognitive decline much faster than those who keep their minds active. But beyond the health benefits, continuous learning provides something even more valuable. It keeps you interesting, relevant, and engaged with the world. And that makes you independent of needing family to be your only source of intellectual stimulation. Let me introduce you to Frank. Frank is 76 and retired from a career in construction. He never went to college and always felt a bit insecure about his lack of formal education. When he retired, he mostly watched TV and felt increasingly disconnected from a world that seemed to be changing too fast for him to keep up with. His grandchildren, all tech-savvy teenagers, barely spoke to him at family gatherings. He felt like he had nothing to offer them, nothing to talk about. The gap between generations felt insurmountable. Then, Frank decided to learn something new. He'd always been curious about astronomy, so he started watching YouTube videos about space. Then he took a free online course. He joined an amateur astronomy club. He bought a modest telescope. He started visiting his grandchildren to show them constellations and tell them about what he was learning. Everything changed. Suddenly, his grandchildren thought he was cool. They asked him questions. They wanted to learn from him. Frank had something to offer again, something to contribute to conversations, something that made him feel vital and connected. But the most important change was in Frank himself. He felt excited about life again. He had something to look forward to each day. His mind was sharp, his curiosity was alive, and he'd rediscovered the joy of discovery he'd lost somewhere in the daily grind of working life. Continuous learning takes many forms. Formal education. Community colleges often offer free or reduced-cost classes for seniors. Online platforms like Coursera, Khan Academy, and countless others provide access to world-class education from your living room. You can learn anything: history, science, languages, art, music, philosophy. Skills development. Always wanted to paint, play an instrument, speak Italian, cook gourmet meals? There's never been a better time to learn. YouTube, local classes, books, workshops, the resources are limitless. Technology. I know this is intimidating for many seniors, but learning to use technology effectively opens up entire worlds. Video calls with distant family, online communities, access to information, entertainment, shopping, banking. Being comfortable with technology provides independence and connection. Reading. Books are perhaps the most accessible form of continuous learning. Read widely. Fiction to keep your imagination active, nonfiction to learn new things, biography to understand different perspectives. Join or start a book club to add the social element. Documentaries and educational content. We live in a golden age of accessible, high-quality educational content. Streaming services offer incredible documentaries on every subject imaginable. Hobbies with depth. Choose hobbies that require learning and skill development. Burn watching, photography, genealogy, gardening, woodworking. These aren't just time fillers, they're opportunities for mastery and growth. Current events. Stay informed about what's happening in the world, not obsessively, but enough to be conversant. This allows you to connect with people across generations and maintain relevance. Here's why this matters so deeply for your independence from family. When you're actively learning and growing, you become someone interesting to talk to. Family members don't just visit or call out of obligation, they actually want to hear what you've been up to, what you're learning, what you think. One of the saddest patterns I see is seniors who have nothing new to talk about. Every conversation is a repeat of the last one. Complaints about health, grievances about family members who don't visit enough, nostalgia about the past. Their families start to dread these interactions because they're so religious practice. If you have faith, deepen it. Join a faith community if you're not already part of one. These communities offer not just spiritual support, but also social connection, opportunities for service, and frameworks for understanding life's challenges. Don't just attend services, get involved, build relationships, engage with the teachings. Philosophical study. Maybe formal religion doesn't resonate with you, but philosophy does. Stoicism has experienced a renaissance and offers powerful tools for maintaining peace regardless of circumstances. Buddhism provides practical approaches to suffering. Existentialism helps you take responsibility for creating meaning. Read, study, contemplate, discuss. Writing your memoirs, creating ethical wills for your family, engaging in life review, or finding ways to pass on what you've learned. These practices help you integrate your experiences and find coherence in your life story. Death preparation. This sounds morbid, but it's actually liberating. Confronting your mortality directly through death meditation, planning your affairs, having honest conversations about end-of-life wishes removes the fear that comes from denial. When you're at peace with your mortality, you're free to live fully. Here's why this pillar is essential for reducing dependence on family. When your peace and happiness depend on external circumstances, including whether your children call, whether your grandchildren visit, whether you're getting enough attention, you're setting yourself up for suffering. Because external circumstances are fundamentally unreliable and outside your control. But when you have an internal source of peace, when you have practices and beliefs that ground you regardless of what's happening around you, you become unshakable. Your children's call is a lovely bonus, not a necessary condition for your okayness. This doesn't mean becoming cold or detached from family. It means not needing them to be different than they are for you to be at peace. That's the ultimate freedom, and it actually makes family relationships better because you're not coming from a place of neediness. Many seniors resist spiritual or philosophical exploration because they think it's too late, or they feel locked into whatever beliefs they were raised with. But your senior years are actually the perfect time for this exploration. You have life experience that allows you to understand wisdom teachings more deeply. You're facing questions about meaning and mortality in concrete ways. You have time for reflection and practice that you may not have had during your working years. I've also observed that seniors who have this kind of grounding handle health challenges, loss, and the difficulties of aging with remarkable grace. They're not in denial about the challenges, but they have a larger context that prevents them from being crushed by those challenges. Let me share something. Pillar 4, continuous learning and mental stimulation. Keeping your mind sharp, staying curious, remaining engaged with a changing world. Pillar 5, spiritual or philosophical grounding. Having frameworks for making sense of life, finding peace with mortality, and accessing something larger than yourself. These 5 pillars work together synergistically. Community connections give you opportunities for purpose. Physical wellness gives you the capacity for learning. Spiritual grounding provides context for all of it. And here's what happens when you build your life on these 5 pillars. You stop needing your family to show up in ways they can't.
You stop keeping score. You stop feeling resentful when they're busy with their own lives. You stop the desperate waiting by the phone. Instead, you become someone living a full, rich, meaningful life. A life that family members want to be part of, not because you need them, but because you're interesting, engaged, and joyful to be around. Your grandchildren start asking to spend time with you because you have cool hobbies and interesting things to share. Your adult children stop dreading phone calls because you're not complaining or needy. You're telling them about your new project. One small step. That's all it takes to begin. And here's what I know from working with thousands of seniors. The ones who take action, who build these colors, who take responsibility for their own happiness and well-being, they're the ones who thrive. They're the ones who look back on their senior years as some of the best years of their lives, not the sad decline they feared. Your senior years can be extraordinary, but only if you stop waiting for family to make them so. Only if you take responsibility for building a life so fulfilling that family becomes the cherry on top of an already delicious sundae. This isn't about not loving your family. It's about loving them enough to not burden them with being your entire world. It's about loving yourself enough to build a life worth living, regardless of how often they call. So here's my challenge to you. Commit right now to implementing these 5 pillars. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for someone to rescue you from loneliness or boredom or disappointment. Take responsibility for your own happiness, health, and peace. Build these 5 pillars and watch what happens, not just to your life, but to your relationships with family. Watch how everything transforms when you stop needing them to be your everything. You deserve to thrive in your senior years. You deserve to feel vital, connected, purposeful, and peaceful. And now you know exactly how to create that for yourself. The rest of your life starts today. Make it count. If this message resonated with you, if you're ready to transform your senior years from waiting and disappointment to thriving and fulfillment, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, hit that like button. This tells me that this message matters to you and helps this video reach other seniors who desperately need to hear it. So many people are suffering in silence, convinced their loneliness is inevitable,